The most powerful man in the world isn't the strongest one. He's not the tallest, the richest, or the loudest. He's the most unshakable. While the entire world reacts, screams, panics, and emotionally explodes at every provocation, he simply observes, silent, steady, present, but untouchable. Have you ever wondered why some people command respect without saying a word? Why certain figures walk into a room and everyone immediately feels their weight, their presence, their authority? The answer lies in a single word: nonchalance. The art of not reacting. And today, you're going to learn exactly how to master this silent weapon that separates ordinary men from truly respected men. Stay until the end, because I'm going to reveal the practical tactics you can start using in the next 24 hours. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This knowledge changes lives, but it only works if you apply it. And if you're seeking real power, not the kind that screams to be noticed, but the kind that's felt, recognized, and feared, then you're in the right place. We live in the loudest world in human history. Social media explodes with opinions. Everyone has something to say about everything. Emotions are thrown around like confetti. Artificial urgency is created every single second. Notifications, messages, demands, provocations, tests. The modern world was designed to make you react, to pull you off center, to put you in defensive mode, anxious, reactive. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Real power doesn't live in the noise. Power lives in silence, in absolute control of your reactions, in the ability to feel the fire burning inside you and still remain cold as ice on the outside. Machiavelli, the master of human strategy, said something most people ignore: appear calm even when fire rises within you. That's the essence of power. It's not about not feeling, it's about choosing what to show. And when you master this, you become unstoppable. Now let's go straight to the first fundamental law. The first truth you need to understand if you want to become unshakable. Law number 1, the man who doesn't react controls. Think about this for a second. Whoever reacts first in an argument loses. Whoever panics first in a negotiation loses. Whoever shows emotion first in a tense interaction gives up control. Reacting is giving away power. It's showing your cards. It's telling the world exactly where you're weak, where you can be squeezed, where you can be manipulated. But who observes? Who waits? Who remains calm while everyone around collapses? That person dominates. Imagine a social situation. Someone provokes you in front of other people, makes a joke about you, a disrespectful comment, tries to diminish you. The natural instinct is to react immediately, defend yourself, fight back. But what happens when you react? You enter their game. You validate the provocation. You show it affected you. And in that moment you lost. Now imagine the opposite. Someone provokes you and you simply look at them. No rush, maybe a slight smile, silence, then you continue the conversation as if nothing happened. What happens? The tension shifts sides. Now they're the ones feeling uncomfortable. Now they're the ones who need to prove something. You did nothing, but you controlled everything. And this especially applies in dynamics between men and women. Women test. Always. It's not manipulation, it's instinct. They need to know if you're actually solid or just a facade. So they throw little emotional bombs. A comment about your style, your career, your response time, a comparison with other men, and they observe. They observe if you panic, if you justify yourself, if you try to prove your worth immediately. And when you do that, her interest plummets. Why? Because you showed you're easily shaken. But when she tests you and you remain steady, when you respond calmly with a slight touch of humor or simply change the subject without being rattled, that's when she feels something different. She feels she's facing a man who doesn't need validation, and that's magnetic. So remember, whoever reacts first loses. Whoever observes and remains steady dominates. But attention, because here comes a fatal mistake many men make. Law number 2. This isn't apathy. It's control. There's a massive difference between being indifferent and having emotional control. Apathy is when you genuinely don't care about anything. It's empty coldness, it's disconnection. And that doesn't attract anyone. That doesn't generate respect. That generates discomfort, repulsion. People feel when you're emotionally dead. But control? Control is completely different. Control is feeling everything deeply and choosing what to show. It's being fully present, fully aware, but not being a slave to your emotions. You feel anger, but choose not to explode. You feel anxiety, but choose not to show it. You feel attraction, but choose not to look desperate. That's the difference between a powerful man and an apathetic man. The powerful one feels everything. He just decides what the world sees. So don't confuse it. You're not becoming a stone. You're becoming a deep ocean. On the surface, calm. But underneath, intense, vast, powerful. And here's the phrase you need to tattoo in your mind. Care selectively. Not about everything, not about everyone. But when you choose to care, do it with total intensity. This creates contrast. This creates power. When you care about everything, you're predictable and weak. When you don't care about anything, you're empty and repellent. But when you care about what truly matters and ignore the rest, that's when you become a force of nature. Now let's talk about something most men don't understand about attraction, power, and presence. Law number 3, be unreadable. The less people can read you, the more they think about you. Simple as that. Think about the people who occupy your mind the most. They're not the ones you completely understand. They're the ones who leave you in doubt, the ones you can't fully decipher. The human brain is obsessed with solving puzzles. When someone is completely predictable, you lose interest. There's nothing to discover, but when someone is a mystery, when you're never sure what comes next, when their reactions are measured, their emotions are controlled, their intentions aren't obvious, that creates delicious tension. And tension is the fuel of interest, desire, respect, especially with women. The less she can read you, the more she thinks about you. Why didn't he react when I said that? Why didn't he call immediately? Why does he seem so comfortable when I try to destabilize him? These questions keep spinning in her head. And while she tries to figure you out, you're occupying mental space. You're creating attraction without doing absolutely anything. So stop being an open book. Stop explaining every emotion, every decision, every thought. Leave blank spaces. Let people guess. Make them work to understand you. Because when something is too easy, it loses value. But when something is a challenge, that's when it becomes irresistible. And this leads us directly to the next law. Law number 4, speak less, observe more. Silence is a weapon, and most people are afraid to use it. Why? Because silence creates discomfort. And people do anything to fill discomfort. They talk too much, explain too much, justify too much. And when they do that, they give away power. They reveal themselves. Show their insecurities, their weaknesses, their fears. But you're going to do the opposite. You're going to use silence as a psychological scalpel. When someone asks you a question, you don't need to answer at the same speed. Pause. Look at the person. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. Let silence work. Observe how they get uncomfortable. Observe how they start filling the space with more words, more explanations. And the more they talk, the more you learn. The more you understand their motivations, their insecurities, their intentions. So here are 3 practical techniques for you to use immediately. First, the conscious pause. Before responding to anything, especially in tense situations, wait 3 seconds, breathe, think, then respond. This puts you in control and shows you're not impulsive. Second, the steady gaze. When someone speaks to you, maintain calm and steady eye contact. Don't look away. Don't blink nervously, just observe. This communicates absolute confidence. Third, speak slowly. Anxious people speak fast. Powerful people speak slowly. Every word has weight. So slow down the rhythm. Let your words breathe. And observe how people start paying more attention to what you say. Law number 5, reaction equals power delivery. This needs to be crystal clear in your mind. Every time someone manages to make you react emotionally, that person gained power over you. Insults, provocations, tests, manipulations. Everyone expects a reaction, because if you react, you validate. You show it affects you. You give up control. But when you don't react, when someone insults you and you simply look at the person with curiosity, maybe even with a slight smile, and say nothing, what happens? The bomb explodes in the lap of whoever threw it. They expose themselves, they show their intentions. They reveal their weaknesses, and you remain steady, untouchable. Let people expose themselves. When someone tries to provoke you and you don't react, they intensify. They try harder. They get more desperate. And with each attempt, they show more about themselves, about their insecurities, about what really bothers them. And you just observe. And by observing, you learn exactly how to deal with them. So stop reacting, start observing. Let the world reveal itself while you remain a mystery. Now let's talk about something you need to understand if you want to master interactions with women. How does this affect attraction? How does nonchalance transform into magnetism? The answer is simple, but profound. Women are biologically programmed to seek emotional stability, not in the sense of being boring or predictable, but in the sense of being solid, of not being easily shaken. Why? Because on an evolutionary scale, the man who keeps his cool in moments of crisis is the man who survives, who protects, who leads. And this is engraved in female DNA. So when a woman tests you, when she throws those little provocations, those ambiguous comments, she's not being mean. She's calibrating. She's measuring if you're really solid or just a facade. And when you don't react, when you remain calm, steady, even slightly amused by her test, something changes in her brain. She feels attraction, not superficial attraction. Visceral attraction, because you just proved, without words, that you're not like the others, that you don't panic, that you don't need validation. And that's incredibly rare. The unshakable man is a mystery. And mysteries are addictive. She can't read you completely. She doesn't know how to affect you. And that keeps her thinking about you. That keeps her wanting more. So understand, your strategic indifference doesn't push away quality women. It attracts them. Because quality women don't want desperate men. They want men who choose. And when you show, through your emotional control, that you're selective, that you're not easily impressed, that you have standards, that's when you become the prize. And she works to win you. But before we go deeper into the tactics, we need to address something critical. The common mistakes men make when applying nonchalance. Because if you get this wrong, you'll repel people instead of attracting them. Mistake number 1, confusing nonchalance with disrespect. Being unshakable doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean ignoring people when they're speaking to you or treating others with contempt. Real power respects boundaries and shows basic human decency. Mistake number 2, being nonchalant with everyone all the time. This creates emotional distance from people who actually matter. Your mother, your close friends, your partner. These relationships require vulnerability and presence. Save your strategic indifference for tests and provocations, not genuine connection. Mistake number 3, faking it without inner work. You can't just act calm while being a mess inside. People feel incongruence. The real work is developing genuine confidence and security, so your calmness is authentic, not performed. Now let's look at real examples. Men throughout history who mastered this art. Think about Steve Jobs in product launches. No matter what technical failures happened backstage, he walked on that stage completely composed. That wasn't an act. That was genuine control born from preparation and self-belief. Or consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who wrote about staying centered while leading an empire through wars and plagues. His writings and meditations show a man who felt everything deeply but chose his responses carefully. In modern times, observe high-level negotiators. They never show excitement when they're winning or panic when losing. They maintain the same energy throughout because they know whoever shows emotion first loses leverage. These men understood that true strength isn't in reaction, it's in response. Reaction is automatic. Response is chosen. Now let's get to what really matters, practical tactics. A 7-day plan for you to start becoming unshakable. Day 1, respond 3 seconds slower. Today, in all your conversations, before responding to anything, pause 3 seconds. Breathe. Think. Then respond. This breaks your reactivity pattern and puts you in control. Day 2, don't react to a provocation. Today, when someone provokes you, tests you, or disrespects you, do nothing. Simply observe the person, maybe smile slightly, and change the subject. Let the discomfort stay with them. Day 3, walk and speak slowly. Speed communicates anxiety or confidence. Today, consciously slow down your rhythm. Walk slower, speak slower. Feel the difference in how people perceive you. Day 4, maintain eye contact 5 seconds longer than comfortable. In your conversations, don't be the first to look away. Maintain steady and calm eye contact. This communicates absolute security. Day 5, don't fill the silence. When there's a pause in conversation, don't rush to fill it. Let silence exist. Observe how this creates tension and how other people feel compelled to speak. Day 6, ignore a message for a few hours. When someone sends you a message and you feel that urgency to respond immediately, breathe, wait, respond when you decide, not when anxiety commands. Day 7, leave a situation without explanation. If you're somewhere and want to leave, simply go. Don't keep justifying, explaining, asking permission. Just politely and firmly exit. These 7 days will reprogram your nervous system. They'll teach you that you don't need to react immediately to everything. And this simple change will transform how people perceive and treat you. But here comes a critical warning you need to understand. Nonchalance isn't toxic coldness. It's not about being a jerk. It's not about ignoring people who matter. It's not about treating everyone with contempt. There's a very clear line between healthy emotional control and toxic behavior, and that line is intention. If you're using these techniques to manipulate, to hurt, to inflate your ego at others' expense, that's toxicity. That's not power. That's weakness in disguise. Real power comes from abundance, not scarcity. You don't react because you're secure, not because you want to punish. You're selective because you value your time and energy, not because you want to make others feel bad. You maintain emotional control because it serves you, not to destroy others, so use these tools responsibly. Be unshakable with people who test you, who try to manipulate you, who don't deserve your emotional energy. But with people who truly matter, be present. Be vulnerable when appropriate. Be human. Because the truly powerful man knows when to be firm and when to be soft. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. And now we reach the end, but before I let you go, I want you to reflect on one question. Do you want to be loved like anyone? Or respected like few? Because these are different choices. Being loved by everyone is easy. Just agree with everything, react as expected, be completely predictable. But respect is earned. It's rare. It's reserved for those who refuse to be moved by the chaos around them, for those who remain steady when everyone is falling apart, for those who choose control when the world chooses reaction. And if you made it this far, you already know the answer. You want respect, you want true power, and now you have the tools. Start today, not tomorrow. Today, choose one tactic, apply it for 7 days, and observe how your reality changes. How people start treating you differently. How you start feeling different. And if you want to go even deeper, if you want the second part about how to become emotionally impenetrable, comment now, because there's much more knowledge coming. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos that will transform you. And share this content with that friend who needs to stop reacting and start dominating. Until next time.